Some videos just start out like this. Some videos just start out like this. I'm down here in Elabelle, Georgia, outside of Savannah. Not too far away from the way station and the big old Hyundai plant they built. But me and 3 of my other drivers brought containers down here for live unloads, and they didn't have nowhere to live unload us at. So all of us dropped our containers, and I called my dispatch to, all 3 of those guys are gone, but I called my dispatch to see where I could pick an empty at before I went and pick up my next load. And he said before I leave, let him send an email to see why it's not live unload. So I'm just sitting here killing some time, I'm still on the phone with them, waiting on them to come back to see what they're gonna do. But either way, the shipper here said they don't have the manpower to unload our containers right now. So they said it's gonna be a while before they can even get the containers unloaded. So I'm really just sitting here. It's dead time. I've probably been here like 40 minutes. I didn't mind being here for my 30-minute break, but now we're pushing more time. So I'm really ready to take off, but I'm waiting on him to come back to see what the email said. And that's one thing about these dispatchers. They will be like, hold on, let me send an email, but you never know what that person on the other side of the email is doing. And I'm just sitting here basically for free. You know, I think that's what kind of pissed me off when it comes to dispatchers saying like, let me send an email real quick. Like, you don't know where the person that you send the email to. How about you pick up the phone and call that person and see where they at? And if they don't respond back, then be like, okay, well, go ahead and go to your next stop. So it is what it is. That's how we start a video off today. Welcome back to another episode of Ride with DJ, and we're gonna see what's going on after this. Hope it's a great day, and I hope you're having a good day. Let's go. So I stayed on hold with my dispatch for like 25 minutes, and he never came back over to me. And I know why he didn't come back over to me, because the driver, well, we just had a safety meeting that morning, and they had safety meetings at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And my dispatch was the one who was actually running the meetings. Uh-oh, box fell. So I knew when he put me on hold, he wasn't gonna come back if he didn't come back like within 2 to 3 minutes, because he was the one over the safety meeting. So I just decided to leave, and I already have my next load, but I don't know whether or not they're going to let me come in without an empty. So I know over here at the Home Depot, let's see, I know over here at the Home Depot they be having empties over here. So I'm going to stop right here and see whether or not they let me get an empty. If not, I will continue on to another place over there. As a matter of fact, it's a Lowe's distribution center that I possibly can go get one at. So whenever you need empties, you know, it's good to remember these places where you can go and possibly get an empty from. I'm not saying they're gonna let me get one out of here, but it's worth a try to come in here and get one. So, and who knows, I might get to my next customer and they probably don't need an empty, but I would rather have one going inside of there so I don't have to ride around the world to try to find one. Thankfully, they are able to give me one. I just got to ride around the yard and find it and find the location. It seems like every time I come down here to the Savannah area, I always run into some kind of issues. I can't never just come in and get out of this area for some reason. But once I do get over here to this next customer, I've been over here before to where I'm picking up at next, but I don't know will they allow me to take a load out of there without bringing a container in. So that's the reason I won't just go over there. I might as well find a container on my way on my route over there, instead of just going over there just blindly, and they won't let me get a container. So we're gonna check this guy. 1225. Let's see. I can't tell by hitting this bad boy. She might be empty. I think she is empty. Oh. Right. Yep, she is empty. So we lucked up with the first one. Let me check these tires. I know the containers at the next pickup is a drop-in hook, or already loaded, preloaded, should I say. Tires look good, so we should be good. It is a blessing. Sometimes I have never had to do it, but I have heard other drivers say spot 37. Spot 37. Okay. But yeah, I have heard other drivers say they have had to go over to multiple locations to find it empty. So it's definitely a blessing to be able to pull up to this stop, come right on in, and pick up a container. Spot 37, JBHU 313-971. Definitely a blessing. Let's get ready to hook to this bad boy. I guess that pollen starting to mess with my sinuses a little bit. Like throughout my whole life, it really haven't never messed with me. Sometimes we'll be leaning on the car, me and my cousins or some other boys, and I just reach down and pick up a whole bunch of pollen and put it in my nose like that, and they'll be like, man, how do you do that? It really don't mess with me, but it seems like it's messing with me today a little bit. I guess I'm getting older. Okay, good tug test here. All right, tugged up. Let's get hooked up. Let's get up out of here. We are hooked and about to go to our next destination. And I don't know what some people would call this. You know, am I defying my dispatcher, or am I wrong for not listening to him when I really haven't had any clear directions? But sometimes as a driver, you have to protect yourself out here, or you'll be sitting around all day long with no sense of direction. You know, it's been almost 45 minutes to an hour since he told me to hold on, let me send an email. I already got my next load information. So my only issue is the last customer, she told us that she wasn't going to unload us. They didn't have the manpower to unload us. He said he was going to send an email to find out what was going on. I sat on hold for 25 to 30 minutes and didn't hear back from him. I know where I can go find an empty container, a couple empty containers at down here in the Savannah area. So for me, it's just like, why sit still with no sense of direction when I can just continue my day? You know, we only have so many hours out here to work every day, and just sitting in the parking lot with no sense of direction just don't fit well with me. And I actually learned this from another driver on YouTube, you know. Uh-oh, lane departure warning. Yeah, I actually learned it from another driver on YouTube. If they telling you, basically he was saying like, if you sitting around waiting on them to find you an empty, it may be a couple hours, or you may just have to go find your own empty. So I went and found my own empty. Went and found my own empty. Now we're finna continue on to the customer. I wonder what's going on with that driver over there in that truck. Looks like somebody just broke down in the middle of the road. But yeah, I went and found my own empty, and I'm going over here to go ahead and get loaded. And once I get over here, I'm gonna ask the lady for future reference, do I need an empty every time I come over here? Oh, what it is, though. I had 3 drivers before me that end up pulling off, going to find an empty somewhere. I'm just the 4th driver, so it shouldn't be no big old deal. If it is what it is, you know. But I'm approximately 3.3 miles away from my customer. It's a pretty smooth in and out. I think it took me more time to get in and out the gate than it did to drop the hook at this location over here. They got some kind of sophisticated, I call it sophisticated, security system to get in. Even though it's not really that hard. If you have been doing it before, it's not that hard. But if it's your first time, it can be a little tricky. And it was my first time the last time, so. But we're gonna get up here and turn north on Highway 21 and go a couple miles north. I think St. Patrick's Day weekend is coming up down here in Savannah real soon. Thinking about riding down here one weekend. Once I get up on a Thursday, come down here on a Thursday and leave Saturday sometime before it get too crazy out here. But that's in the near future. We'll see how that goes. Cause it's warm out here today. I think it's, matter of fact, my truck say it's 82 degrees. It feels real good out here today. But this is Jimmy DeLoach. I think this is Jimmy DeLoach. Yeah, Jimmy DeLoach Parkway I'm on. And I used to run this road a whole bunch when I was hauling out the port down here in Savannah. Almost on a daily basis during the week. Almost on a daily basis. I was a little hesitant to come this way because Mr. DOT man sit over here a lot in this area. But I didn't want to go back and get on the interstate, so I just said I would come down here and deal with him if I got to. And I'll catch y'all at this security gate up here. And what do you call it? Anatolia, something like that. I was back there sitting at the red light for like 30 seconds and come to find out, I guess they had all of the red lights right there red. They was doing construction work. I ain't gonna say construction work, maybe electrical work on the sensors. But every light over there was red, and I'm just sitting there, and I think everybody else was wondering what was going on, just like me. Okay, and on to the advanced security system. Go on duty, see what's going on. Well, I can say it ain't fun coming in here. And I forgot they give you a customer code in your information. But if you're not looking for that customer code, you cannot get in. But somebody finally let me into the joint. Finally. That's why I say, if you know what you're doing when you come here, if you come here often, it's pretty easy to get in. But if you're a newbie and you don't come here very often, it can be a pain to get in. And it was clearly just a pain for me to get in. Where's that receiving door at? We'll pull beside this JB Hunt drive. I know I gotta let my tandems all the way back before I drop. .605 and 603 down there in that area is where I gotta go drop this bad boy. I gotta drop in 605 and pick up in 603. And when we go back, we're gonna stop by the scale out there in Ellaville where I was just at. Oh, we are going to stop at the scale, at the CAT scale out there in Ellaville, Georgia, to weigh ourselves and go ahead and get fuel. Let's see, we got a vehicle coming. Let me go ahead and go on yard move as well. I was typing in a 50,000 number instead of a 5,000 number. Just a little, I don't know what it is, I'm a little anxious for some reason. Maybe it's the breakfast that I ate this morning. Cause if you've been watching my early videos, I had been on a keto diet. Well, this week I'm just really relaxing off of the diet a little bit and kind of enjoying my soft drinks a little bit. I had a sausage and biscuit this morning with some jelly and a sweet ass Fago drink. And maybe it's the sugar that kind of just got me anxious this morning, because I really haven't had sugar in my diet in probably about 2-3 weeks now. So my body, I'm kind of anxious, you know. So it is what it is, though. I was going to walk my little mile to work this morning, but my wife was leaving at the same time I was leaving, so it was just like I might as well hop in the car with you. And it was rain. It had just stopped raining right before we got ready. Both of us got ready to go to work, and I didn't know whether the rain was gonna move back in, so I just hopped in the car with her. I didn't get a chance to burn off. Let's see, we got XPO. Let me see. Come on in, XPO. Let him come on in before I set myself up real good. But yeah, where you going to? You ain't coming over there, is you? Are you? Nope. Okay, we got this container coming in. We'll let this guy come on in. Be patient a little bit. I don't know whether he's going to the left or to the right, but I don't want to block them at the gate when they're on the way home. Not on the way home, but on the way in. I don't know what I'm talking about. What they're talking. Well, 60, yep, we perfectly lined up with 605. Turn on the 4-ways. Gotta slide my tandem all the way to the rear. I remember last time I didn't realize I didn't slide them until I hooked up to the next container. And I wasn't about to unhook from another container and go hook to another container and slide them, so they just had to deal with it. But I'm not gonna forget this time. I try to follow the rules. I don't want to get banned like I did the rail yard in Atlanta that time. So we'll pull up and get these doors open. My container is directly right there. I don't know if you see it. That's my container right there. So why did I go back on drive? But let's get this container dropped and these tandems slid to the rear. We're gonna pull up here and get this load weighed. See what we weigh today. Make sure we don't have any issues. Oh, plus we need to get some view. Let's pull up here. You know how we do. Okay. Let's go into our app right here. Let's go into our CAT app. And like I always do, let's see, updating location information. Let's see, we are at 557, confirm. We'll leave all that the same like I always do. 1475, starting weigh request. Let's see what we got here. And here we go. We are a little, we can get away with it, but we are a little over on the drives. So we'll put some of that weight back there on the trailer. Let me take a screenshot. But yeah, we'll take a little bit of weight off the drives and put on the trailer, and we should be good. Plus, I got to go ahead and get some fuel. Swing around here. And I got to remember how to, even though I got a chart in here, just got fuel and adjusted my tandems real quick, and the scale over here is full. So, oh, okay, got another drive about to pull on, but we're gonna reweigh ourselves. I know our weight should be good, but I'm gonna weigh anyway. I don't have to pay for it, so I might as well weigh anyway. So we should be super good. Got another driver coming around. I'm gonna wait right here. American Freight. You're just rolling through the parking lot. Slow down some, buddy. Pull up here so I won't block the entrance. But with fuel, I think they say fuel is 8 gallons. Well, what 8 gallons? 8 pounds a gallon. So I put in 40 gallons. So 40 times 8 is, I can't think of it off my head. Times 8 is, that's an extra 320 pounds. So that shouldn't make too much of a difference with this Reway. And my tandems and my drives should be around the same area. I was only able to move my tandems ahead by 7 holes. And at JB Hunt, they say each hole on these chassis is 250 pounds. So I really need to go 8 holes, but I was only able to go 7. But we still should be good either way. Because I was going to go run the back roads to get around the scales down here in Savannah. But I don't feel like doing that. So I just decided to stop at this scale right here and weigh myself. And once again, we're going to go back into our CAT app. Hit done and type in, we at 557. Confirm. And this is a Reway. Next $5 fee. And let's see where we sit at right now. Verifying information. Please wait, DJ. Well, we should be good. I want to go ahead and get fuel and everything down here so I don't have to stop headed back up the road. I want to go non-stop up to Fairburn and get out of there. Let's see where I'm at. Yep. Oh yeah, we're pretty good. 11:32:32. So yep, we good. Get a PDF, screenshot it, and let's roll up out of here, boys. Let's get it. Now I got confidence that I can go straight through the scale down here in Elabelle without no issues. Because I was gonna stop at the Pilot over there in Elabelle and just run 280 the back roads all the way over to 16, but I don't feel like doing that, especially this time of the day. Make this U-turn. This load is heavy, but it isn't top heavy. It's sitting real low to the ground, maybe 3 feet, maybe 3-4 feet high, so it isn't top heavy. But as you can see, it do gross out at 76,000, so it is heavy, just not top heavy. I really don't like coming in this truck stop, but I had to protect myself by coming in here. Augusta Road. Let's see if we're gonna make this light. I can't see it. I can't see it. Now I can see it. Yeah, we'll make this light. Take the turn a little slow. We don't want to be laid on our side. And we good. I'm gonna catch y'all a little further up the road.